from the return of the Shadowlands, just as the brave Pharaoh did 5,000 years ago.
YouTube, Vintage Yu-Gi-Oh here today, and we are going to go through my entire PSA collection of cards that I value based on previous sales, whether it be on eBay, a private sale on Instagram or Facebook, and we're going to go through all the cards that I own at based on those numbers of $1,000 level or higher. So this could be a little lengthy video, but I'm going to compare this to a video I just did a couple months ago, I believe, of my top 25 PSA cards, and I'm going to show the price difference of just how crazy this market has been over the last couple months and where I think we might see some retrace, or where I think there could be potentially some more growth in some cards. So won't ramble too much, we'll get right into it here. So first card, we have a beautiful Ancient Fairy Dragon. These ghost rares from Ancient Prophecy, Crossroads to Chaos, Duelist Genesis, those are the prime ghosts that I think if you're trying to collect something that's going to be hard to find later on, those are the cards. The pull rates 1 in 288, and just really hard to grade and really hard to find. But this is only a PSA 9, and I give this a current value of around $1,000. Item 2, another 9. We have a PSA 9 Necroface. Once again, Gladiator's Assault. I think there's 12 secrets, so you only pull one of these a case, and this one is slightly off-centered, so just hard to get PSA 10 level cards when they're off-centered out of the pack. And this had sold for $4,000, but if you guys look on eBay, it got relisted and bought for $1,000, so that's what I valued at $1,000. There is some Pokemon in here. So this one's, you guys, if you're familiar with Pokemon, you can do a little more research on this one. Rocket's Mewtwo. I give it a current value of $1,000, but there was a sale back in December of $2,700. And I had 2 of these at one point, and I sold the other one for a couple $100. So I'm not really certain on the validity of that sale, but there is only 32 with 260 being graded, so it could be a needed card for some people. So I'll put that at 1,000, but that could easily be lower or higher. Some cards that have really jumped over the last few months are the God cards. Pop 54, Dawn of Destiny, Winged Dragon of Ra, really epic God card, and I give this a value right at $1,000. And I mean, you guys see here what I got some of these cards for 3-4 years ago, and it's just insane on the rate of return on some of these cards that I have in my collection. Shining Magikarp, it's a PSA 9 first edition, and let's look at some sales here. PSA 9's right floating around $1,000, so one has hit 1,000, so I'm going to put that right at $1,000. Imperial Order, Pop 38, so if you're trying to collect secrets, Pharaoh Servant, high rarity trap cards, this would fall in that, so kind of a harder card to get. Gets overshadowed by Jinzo, but currently, let's see if there's any been sold here. A 10 is sold for $1,300, so I could be a little low, but I try to stay on the low side. I don't want to hyper inflate any of these cards, so I try to go off eBay prices and even remove eBay fees out of it and try to get like a net total cost or profit off the card. So I'll put that right at $1,000 as well. Then we have these gold ultra rares from the GBI promos have really jumped. So here we see 1,050, 900, 900, but just let's see if we can go back far enough. 10s just last May we're going for $200-300, just crazy growth. So I don't know how sustainable it is, but this might be one of those cards where demand is greater than supply. So Definitely like that on a couple cards, and if any are going to be like that, the God cards can definitely trump that. Next up, we have another God card, Ultra Slifer, my personal favorite out of the three, at 1100, and that's what the last is sold at, and one even sold at 1200. So we might have Obelisk here. Nope, we have Buster Blader coming in. Iconic Yugi card. It comes in the promo tin, and original print was in Pharaoh Servant. Just a really cool card, and we sold one here in early February for $1,125. So put mine right at 1,100. Could be a little more, could be a little less. Just if there's a couple on the market, that normally drives price down a little bit. But if there's nothing on the market, you can really kind of, if someone needs it, then you can get a little more. And we have a Poliwrath from Skyridge. Skyridge is a really cool set in my opinion, and these sell right around 1,100 as well. So I have that value at $1,100. Oh, do not have an image for Dark Hole. This is a wavy variety, and no recent sales here on eBay. There are some kind of shot in the darks on some of these LOB supers, but just based on pack prices and other supers, what they've sold for, I kind of just have to guesstimate on a couple of what I think this would go for. Then we have an Articuno, switching back to Pokemon, from Skyridge, PSA 9, and we see these going for around $1,200. So that's why I have it in as. Moltres, nice swirl there. I traded this for a Shining Steelix a little while ago, and I think both have kind of went up at the same pace, but this could be even a little low valuation. It looks like we have two sales back in October for 1,600 or more, so this 1,200 valuation could be a little low. But Tournament Pack 3, really hard set to grade. B-Skull kind of gets overshadowed by Metal Raiders, and rightfully so. But if you're a Tournament Pack collector, if you're a Fusion, if you're a B-Skull, need this card, and it's only a pop 6. So really low pop. None of it even sold, so this is kind of my guesstimate, as I think I could get this pretty easily if someone needed to buy it. Magic Ruler, this could be a little high. We had a high sale back here for Serpent Knight Dragon at 1,500, and then it's kind of leveled off. But so 1,200, like you could argue on all these, and I'm not going to say you're wrong or right, but I have it at $1,200 as well. Change of Heart, super iconic. Metal Raiders, probably the most iconic Magic card, and I could be low based on these numbers, 2,150 and 2,000, 1,500. So my valuation is 1,200. So probably a couple $100 low on that one. I would not sell it for 1,200. None of these cards are for sale. Just showcasing how crazy some of these prices went. I mean, back in 2018, $400, $300, 400, and then just whoosh out of nowhere, 3 or 4 fold. So, I mean, I'm not gonna get into the behind how I think all this came to be. I'm not certain what really created the boom, but I will gladly take it, and I'm very glad I have the cards I have and not chasing some of these down. So here we have a glossy Dark Hole at 1,200, and same grades, nothing really to compare to. We have so I valued this a little higher than the other two. Let's see why. So one, I don't know if that's right, 3,000, but 1,200, 1,400, so it does look like it was selling a little higher than the Slifer and the Winged Dragon of Ra. All the populations are pretty similar, all are over 100, I believe, but give that a valuation of 1,250. Trap Hole Wavy, Beautiful card here. I pulled it myself. And once again, no real recent 10 sales, but I know some people have gotten offers of around 1,500 or more. So probably could be a little low with this, and I wouldn't sell it for this. I'd want a little more, but definitely around $1,300 to $1,500. Fortress Whale, super iconic. One of my favorite ritual monsters for sure. It cost me a whopping $6. I had some eBay, but I remember the purchase. I think I bought it actually for like 70. Had some eBay bucks, so I got it for a net 6, and it got the 10. And once again, no 10s have really sold in a while, so really hard to price some of these cards, but I think it could get around $1,300. The kind of stepchild of the big three from Dark Duel Stories, we have Exodia, beautiful prismatic. I mean, definitely see the value in this card. And we have a sale here of $1,700, it looks like, so could be a little low with my $1,300, but once again, staying conservative with my valuation. Back to Pokemon, we have a Birthday Pikachu 2001 Black Star promo. This one might be a little high, but based on that, no. So there's not even been a 10 sale for all the way back $11.26 for $3,300, but it was the best offer. So hard to say. Not super into Pokemon. I just got a really good deal on these cards and graded them all. So figured I would hold on to them for the time being. Shining Steelix. Beautiful card once again. And looks like it could be a little low. I would say that 31's at best offer, which was closer to the 17 or 1800, which were best offers also. So probably 1400 is probably a pretty fair price for the Steelix. Relinquished. Pop 54, so really iconic Pegasus card. And really nice ritual. And it looks like one is sold for $1,700, but there can always be outliers on sales, so I'm not going to say every sale that whatever sells for a high is going to be that high, and it can never go below that. It can definitely dip down, and I value this at $1,400. Honest Ghost, PSA 9. So any of the ghosts from this, like 2000, from Tactical Evolution through this era, just, I mean, you can't go wrong really. And a 9 is sold for $1,800, so I value it around $1,400, but once again, would not sell for that. Thousand Eyes Restrict, PSA 10. Population really helps the price on this, and it's a super iconic card. Really good looking fusion. And I do not know if I believe that actually sold or not, but if it did, great. But I think realistically, probably around $1,500 to $2,000. It's just a lot of these cards you cannot find, so once they come up, people get FOMO of missing out on that one card, so they pay extra for it. So there's a premium on like almost every sale, it seems like. Here we have a glossy, beautiful glossy Swords of Revealing Light. And once again, I don't think a lot of these. So one is sold here for $1,250. So not too long ago. So I could be a little high on this, but based on what Dark Hole and Trap Hole are selling for, I would think this would be higher up on the list than those two. So I would, with only a 39 population, I would give that a value of $1,500. All right, Dark Magician of Chaos. One of the most iconic cards. They're just really cool artwork from Invasion of Chaos, and it looks like a couple sold for best offer. So you can look up best offers. So I probably looked up the best offer on this and saw that it actually sold for around $1,500. So, but that could be a little low, like for BLS and DMOC Dark Magician of Chaos. Just super iconic cards, and no one's opening Invasion of Chaos, or if they are, they're crazy. So the likelihood of many more of these popping up gets less and less every day. Mirror Force, super awesome. Like, that is old school Yu-Gi-Oh. Everyone wanted the Mirror Force, and 1500, 1700, so right there in that ballpark. And pop 60, so that could be a card that people really latch on to. But trap and magic cards always kind of get pushed down the list. Monsters are cool, but I have a great appreciation for magic and trap cards. Barrel Dragon, another really iconic Metal Raiders card. Let's see, it could be a little high, but I'm partial on Barrel Dragon. Favorite monster, favorite card of all time. So this is a slightly faded variation. I give this a value at 1500 as well. We are on to a glossy Mystical Elf, and one sold for 1700 and one sold for 2200. So these LOB supers are kind of all over the place. So I'd say I could probably get 2000 out of this, but a conservative estimation would be around 1500. And then we have a Trap Hole at 1500 as well. Kind of already talked through that. Heard offers around 1500. And now we are to some Game Boy Advance Silver or Secret Prismatics. And surprisingly, these are only selling for 300 or 400 more than the Ultra Rare. So I don't know if people just have more memory about the Ultra Rares and that's what they want, or if they just don't want to pay the 300 or 400 extra dollars for the same card just in a different rarity. So interesting there. Glossy Maneater Bug, pop 55, and it looks like could be a little high on that, but I guess really none have sold for the last 3 months. So, and that one sold at 1400, so probably pretty fair, right around 1500. We have a normal foil Red Eyes Black Dragon. These have really shot up recently, and I think that's because people are priced out of the Red Eyes from LOB. Starter deck Joey has went up too, but it's just like a poor man's LOB. But this is a different rarity, and the highest rarity of Red Eyes really looks really good in the secret rare foiling. And one sold for 1700. Looks like back all the way in November, so definitely could be a little higher than 1500. And then we have the reverse foil, so the foil is going the other diagonal. And I valued it the same, but some people pay the premium on it. But I opened this 10. That's why I still kept this duplicate. I don't have a duplicate of a lot of cards. LOB, I have a wavy and glossy variety, but if there was only one variant, I would only have one copy. We have Breaker the Magical Warrior from Magician's Force, and as you can see here, this card does not come up for sale at all. Pop 10. So these are probably all in collector's hands, so if you are really trying to get this card and prying it out of collector's hands, you're probably paying more than $1,500 at this point, but things can always change. Prices can go down overnight. Then we went through the glossy, now we have the wavy variety of Swords of Revealing Light, so I have that value a little higher. Slifer, once again, looks the best in Prismatic out of the three in my opinion, and not been a sale for 10 for 9 months, 8 months, so hard to gauge, but putting that right around Winged Dragon of Ra and Obelisk. Celtic Guardian in glossy format. We have a sale here at the beginning of the year for just over $2,000, so it is absolutely crazy what some of these supers have done. First LOB box I paid for back in 2017 was $1,000, and these supers are now double the price of the entire box. So just wild. Next up we have the Prismatic Obelisk, priced right around $1,600, and once again no sales really for the last 3 or 4 months, but based on the pricing of the ultra rare version, I think these always have to stay above that level. But I've been wrong before about some things, so you never know. No images on my wavy Celtic Guardian, so I have this a couple $100 higher than the glossy variant. Wavy or glossy polymerization. Looks like we have one sale back 3-4 months ago for $1,700, so for sure went up since then based on everything else. And I think one just sold for over $2,000. It didn't show up on that list there. A wavy Maneater, really hard card to find. Already kind of went through those, so put that valuation right at $1,800, but could easily be higher. Curse of Dragon, looks like a glossy version. That's our first Curse of Dragon. And once again, they were popular back in November. PSA 10 sold for $2,000 and $1,700, but they were both, no, this was an auction for $2,000, so yeah, probably right around $2,000, $2,500. Just depends if someone really needs that OOB card. A well-centered Yada, hard to find, 42 of them. Not as iconic as Injection, but a best offer auction sold for $1,800 back in October, so probably a fair price right there at $1,800 to $2,000. Trihorn, iconic, first secret from LOB. My opinion, let's see if actually any have sold. $2,200. I could be underpriced for sure. $2,400. Yeah, so this could probably bump up to probably $2,500. Only 76, and a lot have been graded. So hard card to find, and even a harder card to find in glossy. So all wavy boxes produce Trihorns. So a lot of the Trihorns that are graded 10s are in that wavy variant. So glossy Trihorns are actually really hard to find if you look at previous sales. A glossy Guy of the Fierce Knight. I'm probably low on this one too, $2,000. Yeah, one sold for $3,600 and $3,200. That was the best offer though. So you always got to be careful looking at this. Look at the best offer. Look at the item. Look up the item. But pretty much every LOB Ultra is going to be $2,500 or more. I think Guy is probably the lowest. So Anti-Regeki, this is part of like my first or second PSA submissions, and I had no idea how hard it was to grade Tournament Pack 3. So this is pop number 1. I was, well, pop 4 now, but it was pop 1 for a very long time. So this is the first one graded, and as you see, none ever sell in PSA 10. So the only people crazy enough to grade them are collectors, and they're going to keep them if they ever get a 10. Here we have a wavy Trihorn, a little faded it looks like, and kind of went through the numbers on this one already, but I would actually probably put the glossy ahead of this. I don't remember exactly what I had the glossy price, maybe $1,800. Here we have a wavy Mystical Elf, beautiful card in wavy, and yeah, $2,000 card all day. And then we have a wavy Curse. Went through that already. Just really cool, iconic cards from LOB. And really Metal Raiders, I think, is, if it wasn't so well centered at coming out of the pack, it would be a lot higher in some areas. I feel like polymerization, wavy. So kind of getting some duplicates here on LOB right now. Here's a 1,000 Dragon I pulled out of my Metal Raiders box a long time ago, and let's see what these went for. 2,500 auction, so that was pretty recent. So 2,000 is probably pretty fair. They jumped up a lot. Someone tried to buy them out, which I would not suggest doing, but sometimes it pays off, but I would not try to do that. We have a Forbidden Memories Harpy's Pet Dragon, iconic My Valentine card, and looks like 1,900, 1,300. So I got it right at 2,000, and I think that's probably based off of the Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon cards. So here we are, Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon. And this is coming in right at $2,000. And one is sold for $2,200. And I sold one for about $600 just a year ago. So really fun there. We have a Regeki, looks like a glossy variation, and yeah, this just happened a couple weeks ago, so I wouldn't set that as the new price, but if you need it, there's probably going to be none readily available, so if one pops up, you're going to have to pay the premium. Time Wizard, this is from my latest submission, so I'm actually keeping this one, and I had a earlier submission back in the 2 million cert that I sold right at 2,100 outside of eBay, so that's a confirmed sale. So and I think he gave me a little premium because I'm not going to be with my cards for a little bit, so he was kind of paying on what he thinks you're going to do in the future a little bit. All right, so we're at 2,250, so we need to backtrack to a couple cards that are BGS. So I have a Cyber Dragon Ultimate Rare from Cybernetic Revolution, and there's really no sale data on this, so I'm going to just throw a dart out there and say this is around $2,200. And then we have another old school Alti, Ancient Gear Golem, really strong, 3.9.5 is 110, and I give this evaluation around $2,200 as well. So, back to PSA. We have a Flame Swordsman at $2,250, and no 10. I mean a 9. Normally 10s are at least the double 9, so a 9 sold for $1,260 about a month ago. So. Then we have the wavy variation, which some people would definitely pay a premium on this. This is one of the best looking wavy cards. So, could definitely see that hitting $2,500 or $3,000. And then we have Wavy Gaia, which I have a valuation of $2,400, but I know a guy who really wants one, and I think he was willing to pay over $4,000. But once that he finds his one, you know, the price might dip down a little bit. But I could definitely seeing it stay there because wavy guys are impossible to find. Then we're gonna start trickling into some Exodia pieces probably, and I'm probably low on a lot of these, but I want to be conservative. We have a glossy right arm, and let's see if any of us sold. 1,500, 2,000, but before the New Year, so pretty much everything old school has went up in the last couple months. But like I said, can go down. I'm not saying to the moon or any of that. Definitely can go way down. And here we have a wavy variation, and this would probably go for 3,000 or more, but gonna stay conservative around 2,500. Next up, Magic Cylinder, pop 18, so really low pop. And I don't know who would be opening up a 36 pack of Labyrinth of Nightmare to try to pull this. And I think a guy recently bought one for more than, so 3,300, and I want to say even higher than that outside of eBay. So just a card that you're not going to find once again. And next up, we have Gemini Elf, Magic Cylinder's counterpart, with only a pop of 38, and this could definitely go for higher. Dark Magician Girls really went up in price recently, so I could see that trickling down to Gemini Elf. But got to put some sort of valuation on it, and I put $2,500. Kind of a niche market here with Magical Arm Shield Tournament Pack 8. You don't see them for sale. Pop 6. I think I know where all 6 are at. I graded 2 myself, and sold the other one a long time ago for like $400. But you're not getting these 6 out of these 6 hands. So if you were ever to try to pry it, I think you'd have to throw at least $2,500 out there. Blackluster Soldier, best offer at $5,800, $3,000. Probably could be a little low with this. Another super iconic card, and really fortunate to have graded this when I did back early on in my collection days. Regeki Wavy. This card was the last card I needed to complete my Wavy Glossy set. So, and I just bought it, I think, for $2,000 outside of eBay. And I mean, it seems like you can't buy wrong right now. All right, so we're back to some Pokemon. We have a beautiful, love this artwork of Gyarados. Skyridge Hollow. Let's see if we got any recent sale data. 3,100 best offer. Best offer. So hard to say. I think I probably looked up the best offer, and I think it was close to $3,000, $2,800. So that's what we're gonna go with, and then let's see what's next here. So we have a couple coming in right at $3,000. Another BGS card that I have is Black Rose Dragon, and it's a gem at 9.5, but weak with the 9 surface. So I would give this evaluation right at $3,000, but could definitely see it going higher or lower if it's in auction format and the right people aren't looking. So definitely could have some variation. And then a lot of people's top 5 cards. We have Injection Fairy Lily, Pop 32, and 1 in 10 cards get graded at PSA 10. Just horrible centering. Lucky, once again, graded that early on my grading days, and I really had no idea how hard and scarce it was going to be. But once again, you just don't see 10s for sale. But I do know someone who bought one for $3,000. We have Dark Paladin. This is the error art. Wasn't supposed to be released like this in the pack. So this population's a little skewed because there's the corrected art and this error art. And then they finally changed the label. But I think I looked it up, and this 3,000 was actually like a full offer, and it sold, and it was this artwork. Needleworm. If I can ever get this one in PSA 10. Pop 4, 1 is super OC. You just will never find it, but PSA 9 hasn't even sold in over a year and a half, it looks like. So I think there is one though. PSA's site doesn't pull all the data, and I think there was one on eBay sold for around $3,000. Royal Decree, kind of piggybacking off of Ruxin's videos and offers and things. Once again, I'm pretty sure I sold that one. No, auction seller, no, that's not me. But I sold one, I had, once again, out of these 7, I've graded 2. Sold one a long time ago for like $500 or $600, and these 7 are not coming out of collectors' hands, and Ruxin, I think, has gotten some offers over $3,000, so. Vice Dragon, the misreleased dual disc version, and that's it. That's the bottom page. There's no data. If you're just into misprints or obscure things, this is a really rare card, and in gem at 10, there's only 9, so this could be off either way by thousands of dollars. So that one's probably one of the biggest question marks in my collection. We have, let's see, Blue Eyes Toon, pretty high pop. Someone graded like 20 of them, but it doesn't even matter for some reason. Such an iconic card. This card's just blown through the roof, and all for over $3,000. And I think there was even a sale for $4,000. So I'm gonna put that right at $3,000 though. We have a Right Leg Glossy at $3,000. Nothing. That is a very good buy from my opinion, but that was a couple months ago. But I feel like every piece of Exodia should be at least around $3,000. and then the wavy variant. Gate Guardian. I think this is our last card at $3,000. Nothing really recent on sales, but there are two at PWCC right now, so I think they're both over $3,000, but that'll give a good marker for where we are at with Gate Guardian. Then we jump up to $3,500 for a Monster Reborn. So nothing in the last couple months. CD Chaos Emperor Dragon, $4,000. I must have found this sale that's not populating here. But once again, no one's opening Invasion of Chaos, so their population is going to stay pretty stagnant. A card that is super hot right now, B-Skull. Quite a few tin sales, more than what shows here, just that one. We have $4,600 in an auction. Not sure if it got paid for or not, but I know a couple that have went for around that, so $4,000 is my estimation. And you can't have B-Skull without Summon Skull. In my opinion, this should be even higher than B-Skull, and give it a valuation of around the same at $4,000. A card that has To the Moon. Once again, people, this is the starter deck, the anime artwork, highest rarity, secret rare, beautiful card. And once again, not pulling all the data, but you can look under sold listings, and it is going for around $4,000, which is absolutely crazy. Rainbow Dragon, pop 40, so one of the higher populations of a ghost rare, and nothing has sold. The PSA 10 has not sold for a long time, probably 4 or 5 months, so a little rough date on that, but I think you can get $4,000 for it. But feel free to roast me if you think I'm wrong. We have Wavy Monster Reborn, another really good card that looks good wavy, and kind of went through that data already, so we'll move on. Genzo, mega iconic, kind of stagnated around like $800 for a while. Pop 55, hard card to grade, really. Really all fair servant, off-centered generally. And just once again, these tins do not come up, so I think the next sale of this will be $4,000 or more. Left leg, hard side to grade, pop 40, lowest pop. I mean, 1 out of every 5.5 that get sent in get a 10, and so that means there can only be 40 complete Exodia sets. And I mean, that was an auction, $6,000. So I don't think I'd put it quite at that level, but I could definitely see 5,000. And then left arm, pop 44, so not much higher. Let's see, 2,300 back in December. But once again, if you're needing a card, it's probably a left piece if you're needing to complete Exodia. Dark Magician, this one has full hollow blade. I love this card, and graded it a long time ago. Only 43 have been graded in PSA 10, so super low population for a starter deck. And yeah, Sassy auctioned that thing off for $6,100. Wouldn't necessarily put that as the new norm, but once again, there's none on the market, and if you want it, you're gonna have to pay for it. Majestic Star, so I've graded 2 of these. Sold the other one for $800, but now I value them at $5,000. That's what I think one has sold for maybe possibly more, and one is sold at that, so at least some sales data to compare it to. Magic Formula, this pop has stayed super low. It really skyrocketed out of nowhere, and I would almost guess that could probably be right. I paid $200 for a very solid BGS 9.5. I think it was 110 away from being a BGS 10, and I crossed it over. So, but just an impossible card to find. All right, here we have a wavy left arm. So, a card that you're really never gonna find. And I have a valuation of 5,500 on that one. And a wavy left leg. So out of the Pop 40, I have 2, and I know a couple people that have wavy and glossy sets as well. So if you're trying to collect a full set of Exodia, it is going to be a hard task, but not impossible, but a hard task. Dark Magician. So tier 2 of the Dark Duel stories. Spent a whopping $100 on mine, and now it is worth $6,000. I think I looked up both these best offers, and both were right around 6,000. Big boy from Skyridge, Umbreon. And I must have found a sale of a 10 that was for around that, but it could have been shilled, so I could be off on this one. Once again, not a Pokemon expert, so this could be extremely high. I know this is a lot of people's favorite card though, Shining Gyarados first edition, and Pop 100, and a lot have been graded. And let's see, 8,000 best offer, 10,000. I mean, so I once again beating the dead horse. Probably looked up a best offer on that and saw around 6,500. So Blue Eyes Shining. So this one's gonna stay on the list for a little longer, but I'm actually trading it. So probably in about a month or 2, I'll have a trade video to show. This thing is skyrocketed though. It sold for, I think, $8,000. So we're doing a pretty big trade, me and another guy. But I think we're both getting what we want. So be on the lookout for that future video. Harpy's Feather Duster. I know of one that sold for 10,000 outside of eBay. So nothing has sold on eBay. So there's not really any set in stone data, but only 9, the original art, and just a hard card to find. Exodia Glossy Head, part of my first submission ever, so super nostalgic, and just on my journey of grading cards has a lot of meaning. So I would probably never sell this card, and give it a value of around $7,000. So back in December sold for $6,500, and I would think would had to have gone up since then. Then we have the wavy variant, 8,000. Not gonna go through the data, but just kind of like it in glossy better. There's definitely cards that are better in wavy and glossy. Gaia, the Dragon Champion. Ruxin traded this for a haul of Summon Skull, BLS. You can check out his video. Posted it probably about a month ago, and based on that, this thing is worth probably 12 or 13,000, but none really for sale. So I'm gonna put that valuation of 8,000 on it. I think this might be the second to last Pokemon card. Very high pop, but Shining Charizard Unlimited. Gym at 10, and this thing, let's see, that's just a couple weeks ago. 7,000, 8,200. I think there's a couple for auction right now, so that'll kind of set in stone. So this could be a little high, but it's right around market. Oh, I lied. Next card, Charizard Reverse Foil, Gym at 10. Only 109, so pretty low pop for Pokemon. That's right, I paid $275 for it, and these things are selling like hotcakes. So that one could say I'm a little high. Just depends who's there on the day. I think this probably went for around 8,000. I think there's an auction going that it's around 8,000 right now, but it could be shilled, so I can be a little high with this valuation, but at least $5,000–6,000. Then we're gonna have some cards that I have just a shot in the dark. So Pop 8, Shauna Jump prize card. You're not gonna see any of these sell probably on eBay. A lot of these prize cards are private sales, private trades. I know a guy that was gonna buy a PSA 10 for. He bought it for 8,000, and then he was trying to sell it to another guy for 10. And I don't know if he bought it or not, but it's somewhere in the 8 to 10 range. Gold Sark, Pop 4, one higher. I know who has the one. They're never getting rid of it, and I'm pretty sure I know where at least 3 of the Pop 4 are. And I traded a Morphing Jar TP2 PSA 10 for this. So this could be, once again, if you need it, you're gonna have to pay for it. It could be potentially higher. I would never sell it for cheaper than 10,000 at this time, but I wouldn't even sell it for that because I'm trying to get a complete set. Here we have a glossy variation Pop 60, super low pop. I mean, 1 in every 5, 60 out of a population of 300 total. So 10,000 is probably a little low, but once again, I'm not gonna try to inflate these prices. I want them to be realistic, not only for this video, but for my own sake of trying to keep everything organized to see what actual valuation I have. So, glossy variation, $10,000. Dark Paladin. I actually have a PSA 9 that I don't have in the registry that I probably need to add. Not sure what PSA 9s go for. Once again, see, this is an older cert, part of that population 100, so I need to really send it in to get recased. But I know, so like these have all the error and correct art. And I think this one kind of made me put it at 11,000. I think this is the corrected art, which is this artwork for people unfamiliar. You had to send your card in to Upper Deck to get it back in this artwork. Doom Caliber, once again, wild guess. A 6 sold for $7,000. So a 9, Pop 1 higher, I know where that one's at. You could probably be a little more inclined to sell versus some of the others, but there's not going to be many more ever get graded around a 9 or a 10. So I think if you really needed it, you'd have to pay probably more than $12,000 for it. Mechanical Chaser, beautiful card. One just sold. This was a full purchase, no offer accepted, as is, for $14,999. I think that's kind of an anomaly, but there is only 25, so I value it around $12,000. Most iconic card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Starter deck, Kaiba, Blue Eyes White Dragon. And this price is probably gonna get updated after these auctions of PWCC. I think it's going for 3,000 or 4,000 more than that, but there's probably some shilling going on, and I wouldn't necessarily trust those prices, but I think 12,500 is pretty fair. Then we have the wavy variation Dark Magician, putting it at 13,000, and no real data on that. That's just kind of what I would value it at. We would probably gonna pronounce it wrong. Could pronounce it right. This Volskulf. Once again, 2 PSA 10s, but there are at least two BGSs that are really strong. So really it could be kind of like a Pop 4 higher, but they just don't come up for sale. I mean, no sale data, bottom of the page. So just a guesstimate there. Dark Magician Girl. This card has gone crazy recently too. No real sale data on it, but I know of one that sold for close to $20,000. So, but I'll conservatively put 14,000. And look at this: 70 out of 450 total have been PSA 10. So it's a very OC card, hard card to grade. So definitely don't blame it. This card is a card I was completely wrong on. This population's been over 100 for a very long time, and they were just everywhere. Like, I sold a couple for $800 in PSA 10, and they've just always been around. And I got this really early on, and never really tried to get 2 or 3, but I see why people want to get a playset. It'll kind of be like Kaiba, have the three copies. So this card has kind of went bonkers. And let's see, nothing though really has. There's gonna be a couple that are gonna sell in this auction, I think, too, but I think those are definitely shilled, so don't take those for face value. But I think that it's gonna be around $14,000. Morphing jar, nothing forever on eBay, but like I said, traded my second copy for the gold Sark, and I value them pretty similarly, $12,000, $15,000, $16,000. Low pop, super iconic, playable tournament pack card, 1 in every 108 packs. So definitely could see this being a very, very safe card that's going to continue to go up as long as the rest of Yu-Gi-Oh goes up. Stardust, very hard card to price once again. No 10s ever sell. The last one was 2 years and a month ago. So just a super iconic, very low pop, 19 out of 125 or 144 total. So I think the right guy would come along. I think he'd pay around $15,000. Glossy red eyes. So this is I'm not gonna compare it to Pokemon, but blue eyes is Charizard, Blastoise, red eyes, Venusaur, Dark Magician. So red eyes, second tier. And with blue eyes going up, red eyes is going to go up. And I actually, this is a glossy variation. So one sold here at the beginning of the year for $10,000, and I think the guy possibly said, no, I didn't get enough, and he didn't even send it to the seller. But I got a guy is looking to buy a wavy variety for over 25K. So could be a little low on that, but once again, it's one guy that doesn't set the market. But here's my wavy variation. I give that a value of $22,000. Pop 21. So not a hard card to grade necessarily, but these have they've definitely come up for sale more than any other PSA prize card. But I think they're slowly going to get into collectors' hands where there's kind of a liquidity there, and then now it's gonna dry up again. So $30,000 for these last two, and I know one guy that bought a BGS 10 for $30,000. So conservatively valuing it around $25,000. And I think before we get to this bad boy, we have a Charizard that I forgot to insert in. Sky Ridge, quad 9.5, and this will be right around $16,000 to $18,000. PSA 10s normally sell for around 20, so I'll take a little deduction off that, and I would give it a value, right around $16,000 to $17,000. But you could definitely see, the average guy is definitely priced out of base set, and in my opinion, this might be the stepchild or the second best option, and I can definitely see this continuing to rise as long as Pokemon is doing as well as it is. And the king of Pokemon currently, I'm not saying Dark Duel Stories Blue Eyes are started at Kaiba Blue Eyes, or Corrected Paladin, or I would doubt Morphing Jar would, because it's tournament. Some people just don't even touch tournament pack stuff. But I think there's definitely, or Dark Magician Girl potentially, definitely a card that could potentially dethrone LOB Blue Eyes. But started at Kaiba, you buy started at Kaiba, you're getting a Blue Eyes. You buy a Dark Duel Story, the right version. There's one with the 001 through 003, and then there's one with CRU and Acid Trap Hole and Salamandra. If you buy the right game, unless you're Ruxin, unless it's been opened and resealed, you're gonna get Dark Duel Story Blue Eyes. With LOB Blue Eyes, you're gonna open potentially 5 boxes or more. If all ultras are even, 10 ultras, 2 ultras a box, 5 boxes, and then it'd still probably be off-centered or some potential damage right out of the pack. So I think for that reason, this will remain above the other two variations, but it's not the anime artwork, so I could definitely see that hurting it. But there's been $80,000 sales. There's been one to Stevie Aoki, one on eBay. Let's see if we have it here on eBay. Nope, didn't pull that data for some reason. But there's been 2 confirmed sales for over $80,000, but I think there's definitely room for a retrace here. I think it jumped way too fast, and I give this glossy variation a price of right at $50,000. And I've heard of a trade for even a wavy variation, I think, for $60,000. So I think that's the range we should be in, 40 to 60,000 for this card. And number 1 card in my collection, most expensive, we have the wavy variation, and I have a valuation of 65,000. I don't really know if wavy glossy, how much it's going to matter if these cards ever come up for sale. I think they're so scarce, and if Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon continue to grow and bigger people with bigger pocketbooks get in the game, I don't think they're really going to care about wavy glossy. If a true collector came in with deep pockets, they probably would pay the premium for wavy, but some people don't like wavy, or some people don't like glossy. So I think whatever is available will potentially continue to set new records, but no guarantee. And definitely no guarantee of a premium continuing to stay on wavy. But for the time being, I think the market is enough collectors where they know the difference, that they will pay the premium, but don't know if that will always be the case or not. So we are very close to an hour here, so it took a long time to get through this list. But like I said, if the cards were on the previous list, I'll show the price change between just a couple months ago and now, and show how crazy this market has been. And it's a wild ride for me. I started collecting back in recollecting pretty seriously back in 2016, and never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd have a collection like this. So we screen recorded this. All these cards are locked up in a bank. I don't have any of these cards with me. They've gone too crazy in value for me to have them here with me, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, the point of collecting is to be able to look at your cards, see your cards duel, things like that. But definitely started out as a collecting hobby, and I definitely still have that joy of, there's cards I don't have and there's cards I want, and so there's still that spark in me to hunt down older cards and find the cards I don't have that I want for my collection still. So I think that's going to do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this super long video of my collection and what I think prices for these cards are. And as always, thanks for watching.